I'm pretty sure. You watch a YouTube video about how to learn faster, close the video, find it interesting, and go study. But 20 minutes later, you're watching a completely random video, nothing like what you planned. Your brain got excited, but it wasn't ready, and that's why you forget everything you learn and lose focus easily. And it's not because you're dumb, it's because your brain is overloaded, poorly trained, and flooded with useless stimuli. But don't worry, today I'm going to show you how to learn anything 10 times faster without losing concentration, and finally understand why your brain doesn't retain what you study. I'll also explain how to use our natural attention cycle to become more organized and productive. Just like AYANOKOJI, who has a unique mastery over his mind and the way he learns, you can develop this ability too. Using real, proven strategies, you can reach a level of focus and intelligence far beyond what you imagine, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. Your brain wasn't made to learn the way you're trying to. Let's be honest, no one actually learns anything watching a video at 2x speed, replying to messages, and scrolling through TikTok on a second screen. You think you're studying, but really, you're just watching a video you'll forget in 10 minutes. And the worst part? Your brain believes it. It thinks it's being productive, but in reality, it's just spinning its wheels. There's a name for this, cognitive load. It's like trying to carry 8 grocery bags with one hand. The more stimulus you pile on, the less your brain can handle. It crashes, in one ear, out the other. That's what psychologist John Sweller explained with the cognitive load theory. Your working memory is limited. Imagine trying to store multiple games on a PC that only has 250 gigabytes of space. It just doesn't work. A Stanford study showed that people who claim to multitask actually perform worse on basic cognitive tasks. Less focus, worse memory, and more distraction. It feels productive, but it's just noise. So the more you try to do everything at once, the less you actually learn. Before you open another video at 2x speed, do yourself a favor. Close the tabs, silence your phone, and focus on one thing at a time. Create an environment that works for your brain. It might feel boring, it might feel slow, but it works. Your brain isn't a rave. Sometimes silence is exactly what it needs to finally learn something. Now that you understand this, I'll show you what actually works, and later, the exact techniques I use to learn 10 times faster. According to neuroscience, learning happens in 3 stages. First, encoding, when your brain receives the information. Second, storage, when it organizes that information neatly, like saving a folder on your computer called Do Not Delete. Third, and the most ignored, retrieval. That's when you can actually remember the information at the right moment, in an exam, a meeting, or when life puts you to the test. Most people only focus on the first 2, and not even that well. They watch classes at 2x speed, make colorful notes, highlight even the page title, and walk away thinking they've learned something. But ask them a week later, and the answer is, I've never seen this in my life. The problem isn't the content, it's the wrong kind of training. Learning without practicing retrieval is like going to the gym, taking a selfie, and leaving thinking you've built muscle. Looking is not training. Watching a video is not studying. That's where the testing effect comes in. When you force your brain to recall information without looking at the notes, it activates neural networks that strengthen memory. Each attempt is like a mental push-up. That's what truly builds long-term retention. And nobody talks about this because it's uncomfortable. Doing practice questions takes effort. Reviewing without looking is scary. Making mistakes feels frustrating, but it's exactly that discomfort that makes you grow. So if you want to escape the illusion and actually learn, hide your notebook and try to recall on your own. Got it wrong? Perfect. Your brain flags that mistake with a warning. This is important. Remember it next time. Now that you understand how the brain really learns, it's time for me to show you 3 techniques to boost your learning. The first technique comes from a brilliant physicist, Richard Feynman. He left us with one of the most powerful strategies to truly learn anything. And the method is simple. Teach what you just learned as if you were explaining it to a child. It might sound silly, but it forces your brain to do what it usually avoids. Organize the information, fill in the gaps, and turn something complicated into something clear. And you don't need an audience. You can explain it to the mirror, to your dog, or even to your pillow. The important thing is to say it out loud, in your own words. Got stuck while explaining? Perfect. That's the signal you don't fully understand it yet. Now you know exactly where to review. Because it's simple. If you can't teach it clearly, you haven't really learned it. If you already review the next day after studying, good job, you're doing more than 90% of people. But if you really want to accelerate, use the neuroscience dream team, spaced repetition plus the testing effect. First, spaced repetition. Instead of cramming everything in one day, you spread your reviews over time. This activates a memory consolidation mechanism that turns loose information into solid learning. Studying everything in one sitting is like hitting arms at the gym for 8 hours straight and thinking you'll get huge. You won't. You need breaks, rest, and repetition. The brain works the same way. It needs time to absorb. So review the next day, or study for a full week, then take one complete day off. Only after that, come back strong. Now, the testing effect. Rereading the same material 15 times is worthless compared to one honest attempt to recall without looking. Forcing your brain to remember is what actually strengthens memory, in a way no passive reading ever will. That's why I even recommend downloading random memory games, crosswords, Sudoku, or simply asking yourself questions throughout the day. You're training your attention, memory, and reasoning without even noticing. Do this, and you'll learn 10x more with half the effort. Third learning technique, active learning. This is where most people get it wrong. Oh, but I watched 10 videos today. And what did you actually create with that? Learning is not consumption, it's production. Your brain truly learns when it stops being in Netflix mode and switches to hands-on mode. Write, summarize, explain, apply. Make a mind map. Record yourself explaining, post about it, solve an exercise. Anything that forces your brain to process instead of just swallowing information. Here's the golden rule. For every hour of study, if you don't walk away with at least one thing created, a practical note, an applied exercise, an explanation in your own words, then you wasted your time. Simple as that. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you because it's the most important part of all. Consistency beats intensity. Almost everyone gets this wrong. When they decide to learn, they go all in at once with insane intensity. Today, I'll study 8 hours straight, watch 3 lectures, solve 50 exercises, take notes, go for a run, and even meditate at the end. The next day, nothing. The brain goes into a coma, and you spend the whole day stuck on TikTok feeling guilty about it. But the brain doesn't learn from one-off efforts. It learns from repetition and consistency. The real problem isn't the lack of a big push. It's the absence of a routine. It's the same with your brain. Learning fast means learning every single day, even if it's just 20 minutes, but with total focus. No phone, no feed, no extra tabs. Just you, the content, and commitment. Neuroscience explains this through long-term potentiation, a biological mechanism that strengthens the connections between neurons when information is repeated frequently. The more often you activate a memory, the stronger it gets. So stop trying to learn everything in one sitting. Trade intensity for consistency. It's way better to study 20 minutes a day for 30 days than to cram 10 hours once a month and forget it all the next day. You don't need to be a genius to learn fast. You don't need a high IQ, a super memory, or to take a cold shower at 5 a.m. What you need are 3 simple things. A distraction-free environment. Remember, your brain can't multitask. The right techniques. Real learning is training your brain, not just watching videos at 2x speed and accumulating content. Consistent rhythm. Your brain needs time to consolidate information. Don't try to do everything at once. Be consistent, and you'll see great results in your learning. And one more thing, don't compare yourself to others. Some people learn by reading, others by teaching. Everyone has their own way. Learning fast isn't about knowing everything. It's about not giving up on learning. So go at your own pace. Test yourself, make mistakes, learn again. I hope I was able to help you in some way. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on the next videos. See you next time.